I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Hey, this is a video or a live I've been wanting to do for a while. Just based upon a lot of the conversations that I'm seeing and hearing these days, biblical conversations, conversations about Israel and America and the things that are holding us back, the things that we're living by. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, there's not going to be a lot of pictures in this particular video. It's mostly going to be just me talking and giving you my ideas on some of these concepts. So as y'all know, there's a lot of conversation, like I said before, about the Bible and about the people and about our situation and what the truth is. But one of the things I've noticed is that most of the conversations, if not all of them, are always from a premise of falsehood, from a premise of non-biblical talk, words and concepts that do not exist in the Bible. And I think it's a sign that people are deceived. I think it leads people away from the truth. So I want to put this video out just to kind of cut straight to it and get to the truth of the matter. All right. So I'm gonna check my volume, make sure I'm good to go, like I always do. We'll go ahead and get started. Give me 1 second here. All right, we're good to go. Let's start with a scripture. This is Matthew's 5:37. And it's some of the basis of why I'm talking about this. This is Jesus, our brother. He's saying, but let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. And what you'll notice is that a lot of these people do a lot of talking, but they'll never give you the yea, yea, or the nay, nay. Either it's in there, either it's of God or it's not. There is no in between. There is no ism. There is no kind of, sort of. Things are or they are not. Okay. So let's get straight into it. I did a video a few months back saying that Jesus is not Jewish, and people lost their mind. Some people lost their mind about that. They can't even fathom that concept because they're so deceived. All right. So let's start. And some people might say, hey, it doesn't matter. These words, it doesn't matter. Well, everything matters. Everything matters. There's not one thing that doesn't matter. Every single thing matters. All right. So let's talk about some words that are in the Bible. Okay. Now, what I have up here, I have the Strong's Concordance up online here. The Blue Letter Bible. I'm using the King James Version of the Bible. Now I know some people use other translations. I personally prefer the King James because I think it's I just like the way it speaks. And I think that the man that inspired it, King James, I think he was a man of God, regardless of what the slander is about him. I think King James was definitely a man of God. All right. So what's some of the words that are in the Bible? Love. Love is in the Bible. Love occurs 310 times in the King James Version of the Bible. It's all throughout the Bible. Love, 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 love. We don't hear that word too much these days. We don't hear that word. But love is in the Bible. Hate. Hate is in the Bible 87 times. We hear that word a lot. But love is in the Bible more than 3 times more than the word hate. Have y'all noticed that? Let's talk about a word that is rarely used these days. Sorcery. Sorcery is in the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. Sorcery is what is happening on TV. It happens in your colleges, it happens in your public schools, in your music. It's sorcery. Sorcerer is also in the Bible, right? I believe sorceries is even in the Bible. 5 times, sorceries. Revelations 9:21. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. So sorcery and sorcerers and sorceries, that's in the Bible, right? But if you use that word these days, people look at you like you're some kind of a pseudoscientist or something like that, or a conspiracy theorist. But that word is in the Bible. And keep in mind the words that are in the Bible that we don't use, and people will call you a lunatic for using these words in your everyday walk. But the words that are not in the Bible, if you use those words, people look at you as you have a high IQ and that you're of God and that you're intelligent. Think about that for a minute. Truth. 235 times the word truth is in the Bible. The truth is very important. It's very important. Let's see, lies. These words are in the Bible. 51 times. Lies, 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 lies. All throughout the Bible. Speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Interesting. Deceive. Deceive is in the Bible 27 times. There is deception out here, ladies and gentlemen. Ephesians 5:6. Let no man deceive you with vain words. For because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience. So deceive is in there. Satan. Satan's in the Bible 56 times, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you walk around right now in your everyday walk and say something about Satan, Satan is out here doing things, people will look at you like you're crazy. But it's in the scriptures. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Devil. Devil is in the Bible 61 times. 61 times, devil. When's the last time you heard someone on CNN call someone a devil or say that they work for the devil? When they do, they say you have a mental condition if you talk like that. But that word is actually in the Bible. And last but not least, God. God is in the Bible 4,458 times. It's all throughout the Bible. That idea, that concept, God. Look at that. Go to work and talk about God. See how they look at you. Now let's look at words that are not in the Bible. All right. First word on the list. This is a big one right here. Now this word is in the Bible. Let me say that. This word is in the Bible once. One time. But they use it like it's the gospel. And that word is Jewish. Jewish is in the Bible one time, ladies and gentlemen. One time. And interestingly, the one time that word Jewish is mentioned, it's not in a good way. And it's not talking about a people per se. This is in Titus 1:14. It says, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. So the one time that the word Jewish is mentioned, it's mentioned in the context of turning you away from the truth. Is that ironic? How amazing is that? But they throw the word Jewish around like the people of the Bible were Jewish. Newsflash, ladies and gentlemen, Abraham was not Jewish. Moses wasn't Jewish. The prophets were not Jewish. Joshua wasn't Jewish. Okay, David wasn't Jewish. Moses didn't free the Jewish people from Egypt. Jewish is not real. It's not real. But this term, that word dominates conversations today. And it's only in the Bible one time. The men of God didn't even think of that concept of Jewish. And the one time someone did, it was in relation to turning you away from the truth. How amazing is that? Let's look up the word Judeo. Some of y'all say it doesn't matter. No, it matters. Everything matters. Judeo. This term Judeo does not occur in the King James Version of the Bible. It's not there. It's not real. There was no Judeo. Zionism. Zionism. There is no Zionism. Where are these concepts coming from? If it's not in this book, who's giving you these terms and these words to discuss and argue about when it's not even in this book? Where are you getting that from? What kind of sorceries are being used to put you in that mindset? To even think of a concept called Zionism or Judeo. Let's look up Hasidic. You know, Hasidic Jewish people? Hasidic. Where's that at? It's not in here. Everything matters. Hasidic is not in these. There's no Hasidic people in the Old Testament. There's no Hasidic people like that. It doesn't work like that. So what is this new stuff that is coming up? These new words, these new ideas about the people. Let's look up the word Israeli. There's no Israelis in the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. David wasn't an Israeli. Moses wasn't an Israeli. Jesus wasn't an Israeli. All right. These concepts are not real. They don't exist. All right. 1 second here. All right. Another one. There's a big word that everyone's using now. We're talking all about this and what's in it. Talmud. There's no Talmud in the Bible. Where's this term coming from? Where's the Talmud at? Did David have a Talmud? Did Isaiah have a Talmud? If he did, why didn't he bring it up? Where's this Talmud coming from? Did Abraham walk around with his Talmud? Here's another one. Judaism. There is no Judaism. That's a new thing. They adding these into these new Bibles now. They got them all in these new Bibles to trick y'all blind people. I ain't gonna say y'all blind people, but to deceive the blind. They'll throw that in there in these new variations of the scriptures. But the King James, Don't talk about no Judaism. That's a new thing. David didn't do anything Judaism. Abraham didn't know anything about Judaism. Moses didn't give the children of Israel Judaism. Moses didn't give the Jewish people Judaism. And some of y'all might say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Well, what else doesn't matter then? What else doesn't matter? If that don't matter, then tell me what does. It matters. Everything matters. Because y'all have faith. When I say y'all, I'm not talking about the people that are watching this video. Just in general, people have faith in these words. People live by these words and are not even biblically correct. The men of God didn't even have any concept of this stuff like that. There was no Judaism. All right. I've seen rabbis say things like Abraham was Jewish. Moses saved the Jewish people from the from Egypt. That's a lie. That's a flat out lie. Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. We're dealing with ones and zeros. Either it's in there or it's not. So why are we talking from that vantage point? Why are we using their framing? Why are we using their idea if it's not even, it doesn't come from anywhere but their own minds? Christ said when he speaketh of lot, he speaketh of their own. Here's another one right here. I'm going to touch some other people right here with this one. Pope. There is no Pope. This is for all the Catholics out there. Pope is not in the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. There's no popes. And that's a whole crazy concept, the whole idea now that the quote unquote Roman Catholic Church has some authority over the scriptures when clearly they were in league with Esau and Edom to take down the children of Israel. Now they're the defenders of the faith. When did that happen? There is no pope, ladies and gentlemen. Rosary is not in the Bible. That's not even on my list, but I'm gonna check it out anyway. Maybe I'm spelling it incorrectly, but I'll try. Rosary, those rosary beads, that's not in the scriptures. I remember I told somebody this back in the day. I said, man, the word Catholic's not in the Bible. And they, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not in there, guys. Catholic's not in the Bible as well. Let's check it out. Catholic. It's not in the Bible. So what are we talking about? If the word Catholic's not even in the Bible, if the word Pope is not in the Bible, if the word Rosary is not in the Bible, if the word Judaism is not in the Bible, if the word Hasidic is not in the Bible, if the word Talmud is not in the Bible, what are we even talking about, ladies and gentlemen? What are we even discussing? You can't go nowhere from nothing. This is literally nothing from something. That's the concept they got these people living under. That something comes from nothing. That the concept of a zero. That's what you guys are really living in right now. When you argue or discuss or try to make progress with these words. You can't win with these words because they don't exist. They're zeros. Vatican. The Vatican's not in the Bible. Protestant isn't in the Bible. There are no Protestants. So what are we talking about? Protestant. What are we talking about? There's no Catholics or Protestants. So what are we talking about? Who gave you that? Who gave you that idea to live by? And if and see, y'all live by these words, y'all live by these ideas. You're not living by the faith of God. Because if you were, you wouldn't be a Protestant or a Catholic. The concept and idea of black people and white people, it's not in the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. There are no white people and black people in the Bible. Chinese people, all these concepts have been made to deceive us, to pull us apart, to cut us off from the truth of God. Seminary. You heard of them? Seminary schools, seminary colleges. Y'all heard of that term? Oh, I'm called by God. I got a degree. I went to some seminary school. That's not in the Bible. No seminary. But y'all will look at someone with some kind of high esteem if they say they have a seminary degree and give them all authority and listen to their every word because they mention that word. Think about that. Theology is not in the Bible. Theology, living by the devil's frameworks when you go by these words. No Muslims, ladies and gentlemen. I've heard Muslims say Abraham was Muslim. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut your ass up. Don't say that. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. There's no Muslims. We weren't Muslims. Islam, not in the scriptures. Here's a big one right here. And a lot of people live by this term. Racism. Where's it at? Racism is one of the biggest affronts to God that I can think of right now in 2026. The idea of racism and the word racism. Don't you know when you live by that word, you're basically saying God didn't know what he was doing when he made the different peoples? You saying he didn't know what he was doing. That's a godless point of view. The idea of racism is a godless idea. You saying God didn't know what he was doing. That's what you saying. You saying he put us here and he didn't know what he was doing. Because we're inherently racist. Whose framework are we living by? There's love and hate. See, we can fix problems with the concept of if we identify them with the truth that there's love and hate. We can fix that. You can't fix something called racism because it doesn't exist. Sorcery, ladies and gentlemen. That's sorcery. Let me give you this other word here. Hope I spell it right. Where's anti-Semitism at, ladies and gentlemen? Where's that word? Where's that word coming from? Who taught you that? Who gave you that? Who instills fear with the idea of racism? Who instills fear with the ideal of anti-Semitism? Who's putting this fear inside of you? Who's doing it? These are fear tactics. I'm going to show y'all something else real quick. And this is not to knock on my quote unquote European people, but when I put the word Jesus in, this is not in the Bible. Images of Jesus, this is not in the Bible. And this is not to knock anyone. This is to bring y'all to the truth. There's not one verse, scripture, description, nothing you can find that says that the people we know is the man we know is Jesus looked like this. So who gave it to you? Who gave y'all that? And I thought the whole idea of the devil was to make it so that you wouldn't recognize Jesus. I thought that was his whole goal and motivation, was to lead you away from Jesus so that when Jesus returns, that you wouldn't recognize him. So if that's the goal of Satan, why would this image be plastered all over the world and accepted all over the world? The idea is that you don't recognize him. This guy's not coming back. He's not. And doesn't this image just fit right into the whole narrative? Doesn't it fit right into the whole idea of everything we learned? To a nicely crafted lie. A lot of people say Jesus was black. Jesus wasn't black. Jesus wasn't black. I'm done with all those fake concepts. I'm so over all of that crap. Jesus was from the tribe of Judah. There is no black. There is no white. Jesus wasn't a Palestinian. Everyone wants to say everything but the truth. Everything but the truth these days. If you're in here, actually hit that like video. That like button. I'm not going to be here long. I'm going to get off here shortly. I'm probably going to go live again tonight. I'm going to do a video about Jacob and Esau, maybe tonight or tomorrow afternoon or something like that, about Jacob and Esau. That's the true struggle, the true dynamic that's going on in the earth right now between Jacob and Esau. Everything else is just noise. But think about all the words. I'm going to do a recap of all the words that are not in the Bible. Jewish is only in the Bible one time, and it's not in a good way. Judeo, not in the Bible. Zionism, not in the Bible. Hasidic, like Hasidic Jews, that's not in the Bible. Israeli is not in the Bible. Talmud is not in the Bible. Judaism is not in the Bible. Pope is not in the Bible. Catholic, no. Vatican, Protestant, black people, white people, seminary, theology, Muslim, Islam, racism, and there's probably a whole bunch more that y'all are living by that is not even from God. It's from the devil. All these words are from the devil. Every word I just named are satanic, sorcery, devil words used to incite fear and to move you away from the truth. Every single word. Racism, anti-Semitism. These are to instill fear in you and to move you from the truth. That's it. That's the goal. So we got to clean up our communications. Like Jesus said here in Matthew 5. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to Matthew 5. Red letter it up real quick so y'all see that we ain't playing. But let your communication be yeah, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh evil. And that's what's going on right now. When the last time you heard somebody come on TV and give you a yes or no answer these days? Everybody got to explain. Everybody got to add context. Everybody got to add a bunch of blah, 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 instead of just saying yay, nay. Go ask one of these rabbis a question. They're going to give you everything but the yay, nay. Go ask one of these pork chop eating pastors. They're going to give you everything but the yay or the nay. Go ask one of these robe wearing popes to give you a yay or nay. They can't do it. These politicians running their mouth. Where's the yay, nay? And y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. These people are not of God. We got to clean up the communication out here. If you profess to be a man or a woman of God, then damn it, start talking like it. Can Satan cast out Satan? Can you use Satan's words to free ourselves from this satanic world? Talking about Jewish this and Judaism that and Zionism and black people and white people. Can we free ourselves talking like that? Racism. Every device of the devil is what we're living on right now. And we live off of faith. That's the key. See, y'all have faith. And when I say y'all, I'm not talking about whoever watches this video per se. In general, people live off of faith and they have faith in these words. They have faith in racism. They have faith in Jewish. They have faith in Judaism. They have faith in anti-Semitism. They have faith in seminary. They have faith in Catholic. They have faith in Muslim and Islam and Israeli. And that's not the faith of God. And that means something. That means something. Everything matters. Get the devil's tongue out your mouth, y'all. Get that devil's tongue out of your mouth. All right, I'm going to take a break. I'm probably going to go live again later tonight. I want to examine this Jacob and Esau concept. I may go live tonight. If it comes to me the way I want it to come to me, I will. If not, we'll put it off, Lord willing, to a later date. But those who came in, I appreciate you. If anybody wants to ask a question or throw something in the chat on the replay, feel free to add to what I'm saying. But we got to get out of their mindset and their framing. That's one thing the devil's so good at. He likes to frame things and give it to you. Everybody's an artist. The devil is an artist too. Don't forget that. The devil is an artist. The devil is a producer. He's an engineer. He's all those things. So he'll craft up and throw a lasso or a rope around these different thoughts and ideas and frame them away and say, here's Judaism. He'll wrap them up and draw a picture of something that says, here's racism. And y'all look at the picture and say, that's a beautiful picture, Satan. And it's not, it's ugly. So these concepts are not created to free us. The lie is the prison. The truth is freedom. Love your brother. Love your sister. I love every soul that was ever created and that will be created. That's my duty as a man. Does that mean I can't call out wickedness or say, hey, that's evil and give you my yay, yay, and my nay, nay? No, I can do that, but I do that because I do love you. So forgive your brother and sister. That's one of the main messages I've been telling y'all. Forgive. We've all done things that we should not have done in our lifetime. We've all done things to maybe that was wrong. And we want that same forgiveness for God, but yet we won't forgive our brother or sister because they're black or because they're white. I got a news flash, everybody. No one chose to be who they are. You didn't pick your parents. You didn't pick your parents. So if you didn't pick your parents, what right do I have to hate you for it? I didn't pick mine. But there's a right way to go and there's a wrong way to go. God did give us that. He gave us discernment. He gave us judgment to say, no, that's the wrong way to go. Yes, that's the right way to go. So let's live by the faith of God. Let's live by truth instead of these lies that they're giving us. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone for stopping in. I appreciate everyone for throwing a like in there for me. Definitely do. I'm gonna get out of here for now. I might jump back on a little bit later this evening if it comes to me. Okay, if it comes to me. So with that being said, like I say all the time, I love you, and I'll see you next time.